The polar bear, majestic, powerful, and perfectly adapted to the Arctic's frozen wilderness. For millennia it has ruled the sea ice, enduring brutal cold and endless night. But now this icon faces a threat of our own making. The ice beneath its feet is vanishing. The polar bear's struggle is a stark warning, a mirror reflecting the consequences of our actions. The Arctic is not a barren wasteland, but a vibrant ecosystem with sea ice at its heart. Here, polar bears hunt, mate, and raise their young. When the ice disappears, so does their way of life. We are witnessing this collapse in real time, a silent crisis with global implications. The fate of the polar bear is tied to the health of our planet. Its image on shrinking ice is more than a symbol, it's a desperate plea for action. The time for observation has passed. The time for action is now. The Arctic's story is one of profound change, a delicate balance tipping toward disaster. The plight of the polar bear is about more than one species. It's about our climate, our legacy. Will we let this monarch of the North vanish, or will we answer the call to protect it? The choice is ours, and the world is watching. The polar bear's future, and ours, hangs in the balance. The polar bear's life is inseparable from sea ice. Its hunting ground, nursery, and home. Specialized for hunting seals, polar bears rely on the ice to ambush their prey. As the ice melts earlier and forms later, bears have less time to hunt and must spend longer on land, where food is scarce. On land they scavenge, but it's not enough. Starvation and malnutrition follow. A starving mother may lose her cubs. Young bears face perilous swims between distant ice floes. The loss of sea ice unravels every aspect of their existence. Travel, mating, resting, survival. Forced into unfamiliar territory, some bears wander into human settlements desperate for food. This isn't adaptation, it's desperation. The polar bear is being pushed to the edge, stranded in a world that no longer supports its way of life. The ice is their foundation. Without it, their world collapses. The crisis is real, and it's happening now. The engine behind the melting Arctic is climate change, driven by human activity. Burning fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases, trapping heat and raising global temperatures. The Arctic is warming twice as fast as the rest of the planet, a phenomenon called Arctic amplification. As sea ice melts, it exposes dark ocean water, which absorbs more heat, accelerating the melt in a dangerous feedback loop. Satellite data shows a dramatic decline in both the extent and thickness of Arctic sea ice. The oldest, most resilient ice is vanishing, replaced by thin, fragile ice that disappears each summer. This isn't a distant threat, it's happening now, reshaping the Arctic ecosystem. The influx of meltwater changes ocean currents and disrupts marine life. The polar bear, at the top of this fragile food web, is the first and most visible casualty. When the ice goes, so does the bear's future. The numbers are clear and alarming. There are only about 22,000 to 31,000 polar bears left, spread across 19 subpopulations. Many are already showing signs of stress and decline. If emissions continue, scientists predict a loss of over 30% of polar bears within the next 35 to 40 years. Satellite records show Arctic sea ice shrinking by nearly 13% per decade, an area larger than Germany lost every 10 years. The lowest ice extents have all occurred in the last 13 years. In places like the Beaufort Sea, bears are thinner, cubs are fewer, and survival rates are dropping. The science is unequivocal. As the ice vanishes, so does the polar bear's chance of survival. The countdown has begun. Behind the statistics are real lives, bears struggling to survive. In Western Hudson Bay, Canada, bears are forced ashore earlier and must fast longer, losing precious body weight. Pregnant females risk failed pregnancies. Cubs are more vulnerable than ever. In Alaska, hungry bears wander into villages, drawn by the scent of food, leading to dangerous encounters. Scientists have tracked bears swimming for days. One mother swam 700 kilometers, losing her cub along the way. These are not feats of endurance, but desperate acts of survival. Across the Arctic, bears are thinner, cubs are struggling, and ancient patterns are breaking down. The great white bear is marooned in a world of open water. Each story is a piece of a larger crisis, a species on the brink. The polar bear's struggle is a warning we cannot ignore. The challenge is daunting, but the polar bear's fate is not yet sealed. The most important step is to tackle climate change, by cutting greenhouse gas emissions and transitioning to clean energy. Governments must lead, but every action counts. Energy efficiency, green technology, and strong climate policies are essential. International agreements like the Paris Agreement must be strengthened and fulfilled. Locally, we can protect polar bear habitats and work with Arctic communities to reduce human-bear conflict. Ongoing research helps us adapt conservation strategies as the Arctic changes. As individuals, we can reduce our carbon footprint, support conservation, and advocate for bold climate action. Every choice, every voice, every action matters. This isn't just about saving polar bears, it's about securing a livable planet for all. The time to act is now. The polar bear on melting ice is a call to action, a symbol of what we stand to lose and what we can still save. We are the first generation to fully understand our impact, and perhaps the last with the power to change course. Hope is found in action. Scientists, engineers, activists, and each of us working for a better future. The polar bear's survival depends on a stable climate, and so does ours. Imagine an Arctic where sea ice recovers, and mothers lead their cubs across solid ice once more. This future is within reach if we act with urgency and determination. The story of the polar bear does not have to end in tragedy. We hold the pen. We can write a different ending, one of recovery and hope. Let us be the generation that chose to act, securing a future for the polar bear and ourselves. The great white bear is waiting. It's time to answer its call.